Okay, so now we are live on YouTube. Please click on the blue button, okay, to keep in this conversation. Guys, from YouTube, tonight we are going to talk about money. This is the second conversation about money. Last week we had the part 1. My name is Gustavo. People usually call me Barska. I'm a software engineer. I live in São Paulo, Cajamar. And I'm a host here in TNT since 2020. So I discovered this platform during the pandemic, and I got really, uh, I really enjoyed this platform because I think this is one of the best places to practice the languages. And it's a pleasure being here with you. So I'm going to be the host tonight. Jefferson, can you start introducing yourself, please?
Okay, my friend, good evening, guys from TNT. Good evening, guys, for this meeting. I'm Jefferson. I live in Goiânia, Goiás. I'm economist, professor of Catholic University of Goiás. It's a pleasure to be here to talk about money.
Thank you, Jefferson. Now, Pedro, please.
So, hi everyone. My name is Pedro. I'm 26 from São Paulo, Brazil, the capital of São Paulo. I'm 26. I'm actually a materials and manufacturing engineer, but I work with supply chain, and I enjoy playing soccer and music. I studied cello for a long time, and I really enjoy playing some sports as well as tennis and table tennis and soccer. And I think that's it.
Oh, really nice. I don't know how to play any instrument, but I think it's really amazing. I have tried in the past, but it's really complicated. You must work hard to learn it.
No, just have to practice a little bit.
Yes, that's the problem. Okay, Murilo, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, of course. My name is Murilo. I have 31 years old, and I'm from Laguna, Santa Catarina, and I work as front-end developer. I've been working with it since 2019 year, almost 4 years, yeah. And I've been training English TALKNTALK since September last year. Yeah, I'm here for improving my English and making new friends. Yeah, it's really fun. That's it.
Thank you so much, Murilo. Now, Bel, can I call you Bel?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, please. Introduce yourself, please, Bel.
Oh, yeah. So I'm Bel. Actually, my name is Alberlene, but my friends call me Bel. Yeah. So I'm from Fortaleza. Nowadays, I live in Salvador, Bahia. I'm here in TALK since the last year. Yeah, I'm here to improve my English, to practice, but have a good conversation. That's it.
Okay, thank you so much. Now, Israel, please.
Hello, Gustavo. Hello, everyone. My name is Israel, as I said, and I signed TALKNTALK yesterday, so I'm new here. So I'm 33 years old. I'm living in Fortaleza, but now I'm in Brasilia. So, but next week I'll be back again for Fortaleza. So well, I'm here to improve my English as well as anyone here. And I'm trying to improve a little more my Spanish as well. So it's glad to be here with you guys.
Okay, thank you so much. So everybody have already introduced themselves. I think you are ready to start the conversation. Let me share the questions again, just in case someone lost them. And just to explain, TNT is not an English class. I think you guys are already used to the community, but just to explain, this is not an English class, but you are going to learn a lot because the focus here is to practice English, have a real conversation. So during this conversation, if you guys have something to ask, just raise your hand and let talk about it, okay? We don't need to be stuck in these questions. We can, you know, ask anything else, because the idea here is to practice like a real conversation, like we were in the real world having a conversation with friends, all right? Okay, so now Maria has arrived. Hello, Maria.
Hello.
How are you? Can you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, hello, my name is Maria. I am 19 years old. I'm from Salvador. I really like language. I'm also host here in Spanish class immersions, and I like to talk. That's it, I think.
Okay, miss talking in Spanish with you, Maria. So I hope I can participate in our Spanish TNTs. All right, so now we're ready. Let me share the questions again, and because Maria just arrived here. And let's start with the first question, sorry.
Just one thing, I think it's better to split so many.
Yes, I'm going to split it during, let me just start splitting now. But can you, can you answer the first question, Jefferson, in this meanwhile, once I'm splitting the rooms?
I'll wait for the split, no? Okay.
Okay.
Just wait a second, no? It's better.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I'm creating the second room, guys. Please accept it. And 10 minutes before the end, I will bring everybody back so we can have a conversation with the whole team, okay? See ya. All right, so if you are still here in the main room, you are going to be with me, and we are going to be live on YouTube, okay? So me, Jefferson, Maria, and Bel. All right, so Jefferson, can you start the first question, please?
Okay, my friend, do you feel comfortable talking about money or talking about money with your family, colleagues, partners, and friends? Yes, I feel very comfortable with my family. We very open mind about the money, how you must save, what kind of product and service you must to buy. I think this is very important. Sometimes I give some advice about the best way to invest the money as an economist. Most of the time I'm doing this, I'm talking about this. And about my colleague, I love to share experience. For example, how to invest in stocks and bonds and treasure and something like this. And the best way to buy a car, to buy an apartment, something like this. And about the friends, I think it's the same. Of colleagues and partners, I think it's all the same. And just to finish, it's very important you create a certain culture about borrowing and lending money. It's very important from family to my family and friends. And I'm very worried about this today because I have some friends and part of my family too that must to pay a lot of bills and can't pay the bills now, unfortunately.
Yes. It's really important to have an open-minded, to have this conversation with friends and colleagues, because people usually complain a lot about money and fights a lot because of money, you know? So once you have like a natural relationship with money and talking about money with your friends and your relatives, your family or whatever, at least you won't fight so much because of this subject, you know, I guess, at least. What do you think about this, Mariam?
Sorry, where's the question?
The first one, if you do you feel comfortable talking about money with your family, friends, partners?
Yeah, it depends of the condition of the people. You know, our money is hard subjective, because when you don't have this, could be your life could be very hard. So, however, I feel comfortable to talk. I think that's is a interesting subjective, and we need to learn more how to use money, how to manage this, because it's very difficult to manage this in the right way.
Yes, I totally agree. Usually people don't know a lot, because in the school we don't learn, at least my school, I didn't learn so much about money, right? I think in Brazil we don't have this financial culture, let's say. And Bel, how about you?
Yeah, I try have I'm feel comfortable to talk about money, but just with my friends and colleagues, it's a interesting topic, and I like to talk about money with my friends because we need recognize or to be awake about that. Yeah, it's important to talk about that, but with my family, it's not common to talk about money. And normally I talk with my mother, and it's just about my plans, but we don't talk a lot about money. Yeah, it's just about plans and pay the bills, something like that. But I think it's important to talk about money in general. Yeah.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And I was talking to the guys, Jefferson was here in the last conversation, that I watched a series in Netflix, and it was really funny because the guy used to explain to different people how to take care of their money, And usually in most of the family, people didn't talk about money. So, for example, there is a husband and a wife, and they have separated minds about the money, but neither of them talk to each other about the money, So it was really interesting to see this. And the guy used to say that it happens a lot in many families. Many people don't talk about the money, It's really interesting. Bel, can you read the second question for us and answer it?
Yeah, sure. So the second question, let me see. Yeah. What are some of the consequences of not talking about money? Yeah, like I said before, I think it's important because we need to, money involve emotional part, yeah, but involve a numbers too. So we need to organize about your money. It's like a math, yeah. So it's important to talk about that. And in Brazil, it's very hard to lead with money because we don't have a lot of money, or in the other part, we have a lot of bills to pay. So yeah, I think it's important because we need to pay attention about that. Yeah, the financial part or economic part, it's a part of the total life. When you don't have money, you have a big problem in your life. Yeah. So I think it's important to have a plan or use money in the good way. Yeah, I think it's important all the time, or one time during the week. I take note about my money, about the plane. Yeah, I think it's important.
Yes, it's really important to take notes and record everything that you're expending during the week or the month, to make it control, because otherwise you can lose control, and especially in the credit card, right? And Maria, how about you?
For me, is the point that how can I say this? We can know the consequence of not talking. People are a bit more insecure about money. They don't know how to manage these. They don't know how to, if you want to invest in something, or if you want to buy a house or anything, it'll be more complicated. And we don't have this in your culture to talk about money. And, I think that's like the bad consequence of this.
Yes, I totally agree, because, for example, many people, they go, for example, they go to the bank, and of course there is some great professional, they will recommend you the best solution for you that fits your needs. But there are some other persons, or the other people, sorry, that could recommend you something that is great for them, so they can make more profit in their salary, for example. So if you don't talk to other people that are more experienced than you may losing a lot of money because of the lack of experience in this field, as you said. And Jefferson, how about you? What do you think are the consequences?
You have a lot of consequences. I think the first one is lack of financial knowledge. You must to know a lot about how to tackle, how to lead with budgets. It's very important. You must to know how much you earn and how much you must to spend every day or every month. And the second one about knowledge, you must to know a lot about saving. It's very important, especially in your age. Only guys here, new guys, you must to think about this now, because you need to think about when you get old, you get retired, but it's very important to have some kind of saving and to know when you have a lot of saving, you can think about investing, and you can miss it opportunities about save, about investment. You must have the best kind of investment. And the other consequences about debt manage, as you said, Gustavo and Maria, is terrible. You can imagine you pay high interest rates about credit card, about bonds, about some kind of invoice that you can pay at the end of the month. It's terrible. Can you imagine you have a lot of bills, a lot of installments, a lot of invoice to pay, and you have no money? It's terrible.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And you said something that is interesting, because usually if you don't talk too much about money, or if you don't research about it, or don't care about financial knowledge, you will never stop to think about savings. Like you said, it's really important for us to think now, because when you are in the retirement age, you are gonna regret a lot because of not saving in the early ages, right? Okay, let me ask us the third question. What are some effective ways to start a conversation about money with family members or partners, and how can you make sure everyone feels comfortable and is heard in this conversation? So the idea here, guys, is learning with you some tips we can have to in order to have a healthy conversation. Okay, so not to go to blame anybody. So what do you guys would do if you need to talk to your family or to your friends about money? So can you start, Jefferson, please?
Yes, of course. I think it's very important, adequate financial planning. You think about, you must have an open conversation with your family members or partners about goals. What are your goals? What your desire? What do you think about the present and the future? What are you gonna be? And what else? You think, as I said, about saving for emergencies. It's very important. You don't know how you'll be the next day, especially in Brazil. Maybe you're very comfortable now, but next week you will be laid off. Maybe you have you're not your job, you have a laid off. So what can you do? It's terrible. You have no money to pay the bills. So this is very important. And as I said, to be retired, I talked a lot about this. And just to finish, it's very important to have short, medium, and long-term objectives in your life. Why you must have some kind amount of money to spend now, middle term, and long term. It's very important you have this kind. And the only way you achieve this kind of goals is with adequate financial planning.
Yes, really nice examples. So if you could take note of that, we need to establish goals, your goals and the goals of the people you are talking to, and also separate them like in early goals, like middle years, like 10 years and so on, right? So I really agree. And Belle, how about you?
Yeah, I think it's depends of the situation, but I believe that normally, in the most part of the time, we need to talk about money with your family when you have a problem or when you have bills to pay, something like that. But in that case, we need to um, try show the numbers and try change some mindset about how money you need to spend in the month or uh, reduce the bills, something like that. I think it's important to be awake about the money, how much money do you receive in the month, and how much money it's possible to spend, and how much money it's important to save. And the second case, it's something like that. It's like Jefferson said, we need to save money. So it's important to show for the other persons about the purpose or the goals. Yeah. So we need to save money because we will to travel in the last year. Yeah. In the next year. So it's important to show the goals, the purpose, because when you have that situation in your mind, it's easy to save money because there is a purpose, in the background about that. So it's important to have that conversation in the family, and because it's hard when you have money in your hands, but why I don't will it's not possible to spend that money. And when you have a plan or goal in your mind, it's easy because there is a purpose for that money. I think it's that. Try to have in your mind, have in your mind the goal and the purpose in the background. It's not just save money to have a lot of money in the finish of the year. I think it's that.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And you said something in the beginning that is people usually talk about money when there is a problem, right? So we generally people comes and ask everybody, say, oh, we don't have any money left, so we need to save. There is no like I don't know, we're never gonna go out during the next 2 months. And so this is frustrating, that's why people have a lot of fights and they complain a lot to each other. But as you said, if we go and we open the plans to everybody before, so everybody agree with that and have a purpose, then it's okay. And Maria, how about you? What would you suggest?
I don't know. When you talk about money and family, it's our problem. Like someone has a lot of bills, someone has a problem in the credit card. So I don't know, because when you usually talk about money, it's in the bad way, not like to save for you to save more or to invest in another stock. So I don't know exactly, but depending of the situation, if it's good or if it's not good. Almost every time it's not good. However, I think you can start like share some ideas. For example, you have a parent that has a lot of problems to pay the bills, is not a good person in that way. So, try to convince them to be more, correct in the way that that person pays the bill. I don't know exactly because it's always in the bad way.
Yes, I agree with you. And I think you said something really important. We need to convince everybody. And in this way, when you showed up the purpose of the, let's say, the family, oh, what we want in the future, we want this, to be in a better situation, to have more, I don't know, comfort in our life. So when you have these goals for the future, you can convince everybody else and that they need to save more in order to be in a better position in the future. So I totally agree with you. Okay, so before we move to the number 4, I just think about other question. I would like to, it's a personal question, okay? So I would like to ask you, what kind of person are you? So you're like a person that is like save a lot of money and sometimes you don't expend it. So your family complains about you. Oh, you are always saving money, and you don't expend, like we call it mão de vaca in Brazil. Or you're like a person that spends all the money you have and then you think about it in the future and you say, oh, I don't have money anymore. I don't know what happened, So can you start, Jefferson?
Look at my face as economist. Can you imagine the situation? I have my wife and 2 daughters, and we talk a lot about money, all the time about money, all the time. And it's very important you have to plan and to save money all the time. I talk about this. It's very important you compare prices, you think about quality of the product, and I taught to all my families the value of the money for my whole life.
So I think you fit in the first option. You save a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All the time. Most of the time I just buying cash.
Okay.
Sometimes installment, but most of the time in cash. I think you must purchase decisions by comparing the prices, and the best way to buy is to buy in cash.
Yes, of course, especially if you get a discount, And to be honest, I'm kind of this person as well. People always complain to me, to say, oh, you are like so, I don't know the word for that in English, but people usually say that I save a lot and sometimes I think I lose the opportunities, because of that. So nowadays I'm trying to have a balance. Especially, I learned a lot in that series I talked to you guys in the Netflix, and the guy used to say that it's also important to separate some part of your earnings to spend, with your family. It's like a way for you to celebrate and also have like gratitude for you and your family, because if you only think about the future, you may like losing yourself during this process, And how about you, Bel?
Yeah, I try to be actually my lifestyle, it's like a shipper. Yeah, I spend a lot of money with a lot of things. And by the way, I live just with my sister. My sister don't work, just me, and I'm responsible about my bills. I don't have kids. So my lifestyle is very cheaper, but it's not easy to save money. Yeah. So I use the strategy to save money. I created some bills and during the month. So I need to pay that bills. So it's like I invest. Yeah. I invest in apartments because in that way I will pay something for me in the future. Because in the past I tried to save money in the account, in a part account, yeah. So, but don't work because all the time I know about the money, yeah. Oh, I have money, I save money in the past, so and I spend that money. So because of that, I'm trying to do that, and nowadays that's work to me. I have money, but it's not liquid, yeah. It's not in my hands. but it's the strategy to save money. And just for me, because we need to think in the future, yeah, because the future, it's not, I'm not sure about the future, so it's important. But about my lifestyle, it's very simple. I don't spend a lot of money with something expensive things, yeah, because I think that it's important to enjoy the life, the simple things in your life. So yeah, the real things, the most part, I believe the best part of the life, it's not expensive. Yeah. So but
Yes.
yeah, I have the problem about the just save money. And because of that, I think it's important to have a purpose for that money. Yeah. And in this moment, my purpose is have a money in the future because I think it's that.
Yes, yes, I totally agree with you, and I think we have kind of similar mindsets. I also agree that you don't need to spend a lot of money, you know, in order to be happy. So happiness is something that comes inside of you, right? I totally agree. And Maria, how about you? What kind of person are you?
So I don't work, so I don't have my own money, but I don't know how it will be. I'm a rational person, but not every time, because you know that it's a little hard to manage money because, for example, I don't have a desire to go to a place or have to buy a present for a person and that kind of situation. So I'm not the right person to answer this question. However, I think I use my money in a rational way because, you know, if you just expand, it's won't return nothing for us. So I also try to learn about investment, to how I can, you know, manage well my money or invest in something. And you know, it's better than just spend. So when I receive my own money, I think I will do like that. But I don't know.
Oh, great. That's a great idea. And I hope I had, you know, this kind of conversations when I had your age, you know. Now I'm 31 and I remember I didn't used to talk about money when I was like younger until I started working in the financial market. Then I you know, had so much passion about this kind of subjects. Okay, so now we are free to go to the question number 4. Can you read for us, Maria, please?
Yes. How can you teach kids about money and financial responsibility, and where some age appropriate strategy for doing so? It's for me to ask.
Yeah, you can start if you want.
I don't know if exists a specific age to talk about this with kids. However, I think that, for example, instead of you just, you know, give for your kids, 100 reais, we can just put, for example, I don't know, for example, if the kid wants something that is very expensive, so I don't know how I can teach kids, but it's depend of part of the partners because for example, I don't know, sorry.
Yeah.
I think that when kids grow up like 7, 8, 9 or 10 years, it's a good one to start, but I don't know how we can do those strategies.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you. And you were talking that you are saying that, for example, if someone wants to receive like a toy, let's suppose a kid wants a toy, and
Yeah.
you use that situation to teach about the money, right? So you say, oh, do you want that? So let's saving some money in each month, or I don't know, each 3 months, you give like 10 reais, for example, until you finally achieve the amount the kid needs to buy the toy, right?
Yes, or for example, the toy is 50 reais. You do like each week I will give to you, no, 10 reais, and you save this money. You won't buy anything, and in the end of 5 weeks you get the present. I don't know, but I think it's a good one to start and create in the kids a way to not spend the money but save, or not doing anything to your kid. For example, what the kid wants a very expensive toy and you don't have how to buy, don't get for them. I don't know, I think those structure could be interesting.
Yes, I agree with you, and I think it's important because the kid will learn that not everything comes from the trees. So that you need to save, that you need that there is a process involved in the when you buy something, right? So I think it's a nice strategy. And Jefferson, how about you?
I think 14 years old, I think is the best. In my case, I open a bank account to my two daughters, saving in Caixa Econômica Federal. I remember this. This is very important because you must to know about the importance of saving money and how to manage with money with the bank. And I think it's a very good experience. And the other experience, and as I said, you talk open with your family or kids, even your kids, about to be responsible about spending. As Maria talked about how you must to buy something, a toy, something about this, and you must talk. I have no money to buy this kind of toy. Why can you choose another toy? So you must to create this kind of responsibility about spending the money, because you need to distinguish between needs and wants. Needs and wants, I think it's very important. And this make really a wise financial difference in your life.
Yes. In all those things those strategies we are talking here are important in order to build the character, let's say, of the person, right? So when the kid grows, he is like has all this experience that he learned from the past. And Belle, how about you?
Yeah, so I don't have kids, but I totally agree with Jefferson. I think it's a good strategy. Yeah. And I think I don't know about the age too. It depends. Yeah. But I believe as soon possible, it's important to introduce that conception in the child life. Yeah. So I believe it's important give some activities for the children, for the kids. And in that case, the kids will receive some money, and it's possible recognize, like Jefferson said, what it's important, what the kid wants or it's necessary. Normally, the kid is not responsible about things that I need, that is needed, because the parents are responsible about that. Yeah, but it's important give some activities like a work and give some money for the children use and try save the money, or yeah, I think it's important to have that's first contact with the money, because sometimes we just have contact with the money when we receive a lot of money. Yeah, like, oh, I never received some money, but nowadays I receive 2,000 reais, for example. So it's important to give some responsibility for that kids. Yeah, and I believe the strategy, Jefferson's strategy, was good.
Yes, I agree. And it happens a lot, Some people, they have no knowledge at all about financial, about investments and whatever. And then they start working and they start receiving their salary, their money, and they don't know how to do it, how to handle it. So and they ended up losing a lot of money because of that. I agree with you guys. I think also we could also use like educational books and videos and movies, I don't know, because I remember in the past my father used to have some in the I don't know how to say that. It's like tapes, tapes, videotapes, uh educational videotapes, and it was a long time ago, guys. I just remembered about that. But I used to love that because he used to tell some stories. There is a cartoon, and the guy used to say some stories about that. And there was the money part on that as well. So the guy learned how to make money. It was like a illusionary story, but you could learn about that. So when you are a kid, it's something that maybe it's good as well. Okay, let's move to the next question. Number 5, right, guys? Let's see. Okay, let me ask.
Maybe you choose. Yeah. You are the
Oh yeah,
big
I'm
boss.
just
Big boss.
I just lost that. I just lost. Okay, let's move to. Do you remember the videotapes, Jefferson? By the way.
Yeah, I remember a long time ago. Yesterday, I talked with my friend, my students, about journals in brochure. And what's this, professor? I never saw this. Can you imagine? Guys like
Yeah.
you, 20,
Yes.
19, 21 years old, never have read a newspaper in brochure.
Yes.
On the internet. I don't know what is this.
I remember my parent, my father used to read, newspaper, but I didn't. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move to number 5. What are some common pitfalls to avoid when discussing money with colleagues, and how can you maintain a professional tone while still being open and honest? So this is kind of a difficult question, but always I think everybody have already faced a situation in which you have like fights or complaints about money, because some people think like, oh, my opinion is right, yours is not. So have you guys have any situation like that, and what do you guys suggest? Can you start, Jefferson?
About pitfalls, yes. I remember my colleagues when we travel, and to pay the bills, terrible to pay the bills. We had a lot of discussion about the bill. Who will pay the bill? Who will pay the bill? I and you. How much is the bill? And sometimes was not so good. It's very terrible. It's a kind of pitfall. And the other, I think you were with not colleague, but with my family. When you travel, sometimes you talk a lot about money, spending too much money, and used to say, I have no budget to pay all of these bills. You must take care about this. And sometimes the situation is not so good because you have not good consequence, terrible consequence. I think that's it. And you must be open and honest. Né? You must say to your colleague, to your family, I have no bill to pay all of these spendings. What can you do? You must take care about this.
Yes, it happens a lot actually, right? When you go, but people always want to have great food when you go out to a restaurant, but they kind of forget until they are, satisfied. They forget about the bill, and then when there is the moment in which you need to pay, everybody is like surprised. But as you said, it's important to have this conversation before. And Belle, how about you?
So I was thinking about that, but I think it's hard because in my life to talk about money, it's like a taboo. Yeah, it's not very common to talk about that because normally when you talk about money, that's involved personal mindset or It's like your decisions involve about your reality in the moment. So I think one thing we need to avoid is to borrow money for your family. It's because that can be a big problem. And I try just to do that when I have that money, and that money will not be a problem in the future to me. Yeah. So yeah, I think is that we need to just pay attention. And about my colleagues, it's not like it's not involve a big difference in mindset. Yeah, it's not a polemic or controversial problem. Yeah, I think it's that. I don't know if I answered the question, but in my reality, it's very common just talk about money, and the people don't say um, about your real life about money. Yeah, just talk about, just give suggestion or advice, but don't show your reality. Yeah, I don't know if I
Yes, yes, you
understand
answered.
it.
That was the question.
Okay.
And actually, what you said about not lending money for your friends, I think this is also a great suggestion, because people, I don't know, you may lose your friendship in the worst case. So I think it's not a good idea, right? And Maria, how about you? What would you avoid when you have a conversation with friends or your family? I don't know.
Um, so, uh, like Belle said, uh, don't borrow money because this is a hard topic, or don't borrow your credit card. I have seen so many issues of this because you borrow a credit card to your uncle or aunt. However, this person has a bad behavior, so he won't pay. She or he won't pay, and this person, that kind of behavior is like spends, and don't pay. So it's very hard in those cases because you have to be passionate. So I think that's just old. If you don't want to talk about this, don't talk about your business situation, your ideas. But if you have intimacy with the person that you are talking, you trust that person, you can just share this careful.
Yes, I agree with you. Sometimes it can be a really big problem, what you said about the credit card. People usually don't think about that. They used to say, oh, okay, it's okay. I already have the money, but I need to, you know, uh, only for example, the website only accepts credit card and I don't have one. So I really try to avoid the situation, because I think there is always, could be a problem when you borrow your credit card. I think it's really a problem. Okay, let's bring the other guys to the main room, so we have the conversation with everybody. Close our rooms. Okay, let's see. We still have 2 questions, but I think we only have time to one more. Number 6. Number 6 is actually great, because it happens to everybody. So how can you navigate a situation where your partner and you have different, attitudes or way of thinking about money? So what would you do, Jefferson?
I think you must be an open mind, discuss this situation, try to solve the problem. I think this is the best. And if you can't solve the problem, you must to think about a professional advice. It's not my case. Or support network, like all the guys used to do this by internet. I don't like this, but unfortunately, guys use this a lot.
Yes, I think, the strategy you said about having a professional is really important, because sometimes the partners, they don't get into a agreement by themselves. So a third person, like a neutral person, can help to get into an agreement. So I just closed the other room. Hello, Pedro. Welcome back, Israel and Murilo. Did you guys enjoy the conversation in the breakout room?
Yes, a lot. It was
Yes.
really a really good discussion. We really discussed a lot about the subjects, and it was good because we really shared the thoughts. So what and what happens in my life happens the same in Murilo and in Israel's lives as well. And we really want to talk about more about money, but we are not used to do it. So, but we really want to do it. That's the point. And I think it's something that really happens to most of us Brazilians.
Yes, I totally agree. We were having the same discussion here in the main room, because we sometimes we don't have like these opportunities, or sometimes we don't learn that in the school. So people in Brazil, they don't usually talk so much about money, And I would like to ask a question that I asked the guys here in the main room for you, which is, what kind of person are you? So you are a person that saves a lot of money, or do you prefer, to spend a lot and then you don't think about the consequences? So can you start, Pedro?
Yes, of course. Depends. It depends on the month, depends on in different moments, because I had a moment in my life where I saved a lot of money. So I really wanted to learn about more investment stuff. I really wanted to make an account in a corretora. And that was really good because I really learned a lot about money. I really learned how to invest the money, how could the money give me more money in the future. But after a while, like after months, I really got back to the old Pedro, where I used it to spend money. So it depends. There are moments where I really want to save money, and there are moments that I really want to spend the money.
Yeah, so you're kind of like a balanced person. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's great. And how about you, Israel?
Well, nowadays I save a lot of money, because I had this trauma, or I confess for the Murilo and Pedro that I was in debt years ago. So now I'm more aware about it. So that's why now I think a little more. I'm planning more what I'm going to do with my money, with my wife, and if I will do. I plan a lot. I'm trying to plan a little and to see the risk, to do some investment, if it's for a short term or long term. And now, because I had this this bad experience, I was in debt with 2 banks, so and that's why I need to change, because I was so depressed years ago about that. So, and I I need to confess with my parents and about that. I need to recover for friends to help me to recover my financials and not just my financial, but my emotions. A lot of things. I lost a lot of things, not just material things, but I lost. I know I feel a lot of depressed about that. So that's I started to went for a psychologist, therapist, and to confess what I did, and I need some help. I need to recover and request more help to learn about more about financial education, because here in Brazil, unfortunately, we don't have financial education for most of our families here. Not just in the school, but I believe this is more important to be learning in school. I believe not just in school, but it's not responsible for the school, but it's something that some country, some other countries, we see that this is more easy on school, or the culture is, you know, more high than in Brazil. So, but here, unfortunately, I had this bad experience, but luckily I recovered my life. Nowadays I'm pretty good. So that's
Oh,
it.
great to hear that. I'm
Yeah.
happy to hear that. And at least you learned with the experience, right? That's really
Yeah.
important to learn
Yeah.
with the
Yeah,
bad
I learned.
experience.
Yeah, I learned with the experience.
Yeah. Okay, then how about you, Murilo? Are you like a saving person, a cheap person, or you expend a lot and you don't think about the consequences?
Okay, pessoal, it was a good conversation with my friends. If it's possible, I would like to talk with them every day, yeah. Because they speak very well. And not only them, but the Bell and the Jefferson as well. And you, yeah.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, about the question, yeah, I try to save the money, yeah, because my lifestyle is more simple, yeah. I don't like it to show furniture or cars or something like that, yeah. Yeah, in my case, I save the money a lot.
Okay, so I think we all pass in this homework. Everybody here, we are like saving money. We don't expend a lot with luxury and things like that. So I think we are in the positive team. So guys, we are out of time. I really enjoyed this conversation. I hope to talk to you guys again, maybe in the next week. So I'm going to share the link of the survey. Please go there and give a score. Write any suggestion, you know, a topic or whatever you want to say, okay? It's really important for us. Keep coming and share with your friends, talk about TNT with your friends so we can grow this community, okay? Thank you so much. See you
Okay,
guys.
bye-bye.